Ah, there we go. Let's move you back over here. That's not sitting quite right. There we go. Sorry the audio is not going to be as good. I'm having to keep you plugged into the charger here instead of the microphone. So, yep. Let me just go share the old link. Howdy, howdy. We're, whoop. Posting in the Discords real quick, and then we'll be with you all. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. All right, and let's pull the stream up on here. Mute that, but yeah, there we go. Now we can see the chat very easily. Whew, it's been a heck of a day. Let's start thinking about what we want to do about this guy's coat. I think he needs a black coat. He's not in frame, so you can't tell. There we go. What do you think? Black for the coat? Think that fits this guy? He looks like he'd wear a black coat, don't you think? Okay. Well, I think I'll get demonetized for that. Actually, I'm not even monetized. You have to be monetized to be demonetized. It's just, I think I would get in trouble if I started doing that on YouTube. Hello, it's nice to be here on the earth. Actually, that's a lie. It's been rather distressing on the earth, but we're still here. Whew. You know what? I'm gonna grab my other Red Bull. I need more caffeine to keep going. Yeah, I'm making puppets. Uh, and we're gonna do puppet shows here on the YouTube. Uh, we made this guy yesterday, and we're making this guy today. Maybe move on to something else if we still have the steam for it. Yeah, we're really putting our nose to the grindstone because we're having to raise money to pay for this hotel room day by day. I've got all sorts of multiple disabilities and ailments and whatnot. I've got a autoimmune disorder because of COVID. I got to wear this thing whenever I'm going outside, especially during the springtime because of the pollen. Just breathing the air outside makes my brain start swelling. So, keeping a roof over my head is rather important. And now that I've had this hotel for a few days, I've been incredibly productive and getting back to, you know, making things. But it, you know, $80 a day takes a lot of grinding to build that up in donations and sustainers and all of that. Speaking of which, if you click down in the description, you can go send us money and all that stuff. The Flat Eric puppet? Okay. I mean, I'm certainly willing to take suggestions. I was letting people, the reason we're doing a wolf is because we had somebody come in and suggest we do a wolf. Uh, I'm all about audience interaction. I do a lot better when I got people to bounce off of and talk to. I'm a crowd worker at heart, you know? But the idea we were going to be doing here is finish up this wolf today. Let's see. Do we want to give him an undershirt of some sort? Or just a full black coat? I guess we'll do a little dark gray for the undershirt. How about that? Where's my scissors? Oop. Try to do a little bit of actual crafting instead of just running my mouth, you know? We're just gonna make a little bit of like a collar sticking out here for him. Just put a little bit of contrasting colors there. And then I think we'll do what I had going on here. We'll have this come around a bit like that with the double layer with the loop. I like how that looks. Let's measure that out. Just a little bit of overlap there. There we go. See what we got going on there. The lighting is not great here. I don't have my lights, so I know it's kind of, the backlighting is a problem. I could probably try to block that off a little better. Sort of. That's a little better, but yeah. You can see what we're going for with that. Actually, I need to use the hot glue gun, so I can't have that up there at the moment. Let's turn that on, get that warmed up, and then we can glue this coat on. And then we can put some little, like, buttons on it to give it some detail. Because right now it does look a little hard to see, not very... There, I have it kind of like that, flapped open a little at the bottom, makes it a little easier to see. Thanks. I'm back on stream now, working on finishing up a wolf. Let's see. This guy's gonna be done here pretty soon, and then we can start somebody else. I gotta take these socks off. My feet are starting to itch and burn. Oh, my sensitive skin. Okay, sit there for a second here. You can sit up here, Mr. Wolf, where people can see you. This clamp does not work well for this phone. There we go. All right, Mr. Wolf. There we go. Crack this open. We need the caffeination to keep us at our station. Without our cup of joe, we cannot go. Do 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 do. I'm puppeting. Stand up. Sort. That's not working. There we go. And sit on top of the scissors. Of course, I'm going to need those in a minute. Are you hot yet? Yep. All right. Put another stick in this thing. There we go. Let's see if we can get that. We'll put a little, get this down a little bit better. String these off. plagued by glue string. Alright. Now, let's give him, I'd say let's just stick a little white button on there. What is beep-a-deepin'? Spam, spam, spam. It comes in a can. We have to eat it if we're defeated because it's in the can. Yeah, I think we'll just put white buttons on this guy's coat. They'll be the easiest since I already have some made. I can just use these white dots I got here. I think I have one in good size. Maybe they're just too big. I didn't make white dots down to a very small size. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. We have black dots down to a tiny size. But since when I was making them, I was thinking, I'm making these to be eyes. I only made tiny black ones and not tiny white ones. So. We're gonna have to make some white ones, but that's fine. We've got some velour paper right here. Just open this up. And we'll do these without the, let's try to just do this by hand. Well, that didn't work very well. I'm not surprised considering the angle I'm trying to do it. Let's get this on my lap and try to do it proper. With some support under it here. Let's put this underneath. Aren't cutting very clean. I need to resharpen this punch, I think. Not working very well. And that came out mangled as heck. Okay, well, so much for little circles. Let's go with little bars. And just cut those with the scissors. I got another pair of scissors. Oh well. There we go. How's that? Does that look okay? Should I move them over to the left a little, maybe? A little close to the edge. Yeah. There we go. I think we can call that guy finished for now. What do you think? Anybody out there want to give him a name? Hmm? I'm not gonna do too much of the loud voices because we don't have the mic hooked up. So you're getting cell phone audio, which I know peaks poorly. Ooh, ah. Let's take a picture. Let's see. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm putting on my socks. Here, face the camera. Face the camera. Oh. All right. Stuart. Hold down the fort for a second, Stuart. I'm gonna go take a picture of the wolf. The wolf with no name. Whoop. Oh, come on, you stupid camera. There we go. This phone doesn't have as good of a camera as the one I'm using for the stream, obviously, but still, that'll do. Oops. Did I never hear the stream on Blue Sky? Oh yeah, I did. Oops. Oh no, I didn't. Not the new one. Okay. Hold on. Oops. The wolf is finished and ready for somebody in chat to give him a name. Hop in now and you could choose what the next animal character is. Do 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 do. Cylindrical wolf felt puppet sitting at an antique typewriter. Look at him there, contemplating his existence, exclamation point. Hello! That looks like a foreign language or something else. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Alright, ooh. We've got 2 characters together now. What is the wolf's name? What do you think his name should be? What should the wolf have? He's a bit empty-headed. Stuart Stewmeat here has a hat, but our wolf friend here has nothing. Remain entertaining for the idle room. Even if there's nothing going on, I'm gonna be doing what just says in a song. Hey everybody, come dance along because we're trying to kill time all along. Dong dong, donga dong, donga da dong. Who is the wolf? Who is the wolf? It's a puppet stack. It's a puppet bowl. Puppets on, 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 puppets on. puppets on. Puppets on. Puppets on, puppets on, puppets on, puppets on, puppets on. Puppets on, puppets on, puppets on. Wait here, can I stand him up here? There we go. Now I can get them both held up on the stand. Sweet. There we go. Now you can see them both at once. Yeah. Holding with our tradition of allowing chat to name the puppets, this guy's still waiting for a moniker from you maniacs. What do you think this guy's name is? Hmm? What does he look like to you? The little flip I keep trying to train into his bottom of his coat keeps straightening out. I don't. In this way some, maybe try to do some, I know what, not a hot glue gun anymore. Let's try to block off all this darn bright light from this thing. I need to have that light on because otherwise it's too dark in general over here, but it is, the backlighting is bad. I know, it's bad. Let's try, like, that kind of helps some, sort of. But here, we'll move the puppets over here where you can see them. There. How's that? Who is the wolf? What is his name? Who should he be? What is his game? What character traits does he possess? What things does he do best? You could be the one to decide. You could be upon this ride. For merely $9.95. No, actually, no, you don't have to donate. Just say what your name is, think his name is. I mean, you could donate, because I am trying to raise funds to keep paying for my hotel, but we let chat decide who the characters are. We threw this guy together today, and what do you think his name is? Who do you think he is? This is Stuart Stew Meat. Somebody, Kitty, named him Stuart. Thank you, Kitty, for naming Stuart. And now we have the wolf done, and he needs a name, and then we need to decide what puppet we're gonna build next. We've got all our crafting mats here, and we can continue crafting as soon as we know who this guy is. What's his name? Who is he? Huh? Oh. Oh. Now that's slander. Slander and lies. Okay, that's a bit much. The breathing in voice. It's good for the growls and the but it's a bit much to do a whole voice in. Ultimately, I'd like to get something together where I'm not doing all of the voices, but that's kind of where we're at the moment. It's down to me and maybe the teenagers who aren't here at the moment. Yeah. Yep. Here we go. Check him out. He needs a name. What do you think? I tried to like fluff up the felt on his face and like brush it a little bit so he has like a fur effect on like his ears. They look like I like brushed them up towards the points, you know? I gave him this jacket. I'm trying to like train a little flip at the bottom of it, but yeah. Haha, thanks. Yeah, if you would like, you could give them a name. They I am initiating a tradition of letting chat name the characters. Uh well, the problem with Willie is my name's Willow or Will. I kind of go back and forth between the two. But so that would be a little confusing having them named Willie when I'm Willow, Willie Willow. That's a little close to my name. So we could maybe do it still. I don't know. Hearts, floating hearts. Thank you for the floating hearts. I don't know what that means, but floating hearts. And I will do alliteration with the names, but I'm trying to not just use the animal type as the last name. Like with this one, man, I just said it 5 minutes ago and I forgot their name already. Somebody in chat gave this guy Stewart, and I gave him the last name Stew Meat. So it's Stewart Stew Meat. So it is alliterative, but I'm trying to not do the last name where it's just the animal. where I like to do an alliterative reference to something related to the animal, but not just like the animal name itself, you know? Yeah, I can come up with them, but I like to do audience participation, you know? Like I'm trying to build a community, so I like to do as much as I can to have people be involved in the process, you know? Uh, like the whole thing with me just sitting here being like, somebody come up with a name. Hey, somebody pick what animal to do next. Like I could come up with stuff. Uh, I haven't really come up with a backstory yet, but I did take a picture to show him off in the Discords and on Blue Sky and whatnot, and it has him sitting at oh, come on, go full screen. There we go. Sitting at my antique typewriter, so we could maybe have him be some sort of writer or something. And I just kind of did this to take a picture of him real quick, but that's something, you know. At some point, I'd like to have, you know, other people involved doing voices for these and whatnot. Hmm. I've already got a cop here, so I don't know if I really want. I mean, I could have them be like the detective that works with the cop, I guess. I mean, that would make sense from a narrative standpoint. I was thinking I was making a character to be like opposed to the cop, but I guess they could work together. Or maybe they could work together, but they don't like each other. I could see this guy has a bit of a look of a hard ass about him, you know? Kind of looks like that, like, hard bitten, like, taking everything seriously sort of guy, you know? Come on, goddammit, quit fooling around. I don't know. You're gonna catch me writing any storylines where anybody who works for the police is on the good team. I know too much. That's too much close. That's too much propaganda for me. Like, no, I know too much about how the police actually work, and at least in America, none of them are on the good team. Yeah. They'll just be corrupt in different ways, you know? They're both cops. Of course they're gonna be corrupt. That's what cops do. They don't enforce the law, they enforce their private prerogatives with violence. Hell, man, if the cops enforced the law, I wouldn't be in this damn hotel. Like the eviction where I got kicked out of where I was at was illegal, but that doesn't matter, you know? It doesn't matter what the law says. Like I worked in real estate for like a decade. I know damn uh like I was for the decade where I was lying in bed like all screwed up. Well, for a while before that actually. From when I was about like 16, 15, 16 until like my mid 20s, late 20s or so. I was basically running my dad's uh real estate company, and so I know a lot about how like the residency laws and stuff work, but you know the cops don't give a shit about what the law is, and the judges even don't give a shit about what the law is. It's just, you know, so oh well, it is what it is. That's my rant topic. You start getting me talking about the screwed up system in America or capitalism, and I will go off like a rocket. Button up my shirt. Yeah. The whole thing's a scam, man. All I'm trying to do is work. I want to make my little silly puppets. I want to make songs. I want to work. I want to teach my kids. And uh America just keeps making that very difficult. Oh, I forgot to take my socks off again. Oh yeah. I mean, they operate as a violent gang, you know? They're they aren't a law enforcement organization anymore. It's a, a nationwide violent gang of thugs that, you know, use violence and illegal coercion to manipulate the political process, enrich themselves, uh, you know, stalk their girlfriends. Like it's, you know, we are the evil empire. Like, and I get really heated arguing with people that don't see it. You know. All these folks will be like, "Oh, well, how'd the Holocaust happen? Like, you know, how could people just sit by and let all this go on?" It's like, yo, you're doing that right now. Like, we're blowing up Palestine. We're freaking. We've got 2 million of our fellow citizens enslaved. Like, 2 million people wake up every morning in America in concrete boxes for the you know financial benefit of, you know, a small handful of people, really. All these private prison corporations, all the companies that extract money from the phone calls, like they charge you for phone calls, emails. Like you don't even get physical letters in prison anymore. You have to like have your letter scanned in and sent, and they charge you to have it delivered, and then they charge you to store it, and like they only let you keep it for like a few months before they delete it. The whole thing is insane. Like it's just like a torture system. And a lot of the places just have you flat out doing physical labor for private corporations where, you know, you go in there and they're like, well, there's voluntary work duty to go bottling stuff for Unilever or whatever. You know, they've got all sorts of stuff. Oh no, I didn't own it. I was staying somewhere, but I had been staying there for long enough that I had residency status. I had like officially changed my address and all not. So they should have had to do a official eviction, but because they just didn't give a shit, they just fucking just threw me off the property the same day. So I didn't have any like warning to like get ready to leave or anything. That's why I'm all of a sudden in a hotel and having to pay $80 a day to stay here. Uh, I didn't I didn't get the time to fucking find somewhere else to go. Yeah, it sucks, man. It's been a stressful couple of days. Um, I don't really even have like a specific plot I was building towards with these. I just kind of started going for it, you know. At one point I was working on the Bun Bun News improvised newscast thing. Uh, I could fit these into that universe, I suppose, as part of the antagonists against the workers-owned cooperative news station, because part of that plot line was going to be that they were like in competition with the big corporate news channels who was owned by Habsburg Hog, the wealthy, you know, uh, you know, uh, aristocrat or whatever. And he, of course, was going to have his own private detective agency, but also, have the local cops on the payroll and all of that. I need to see if I can get my kid to come over here and bring some more of my stuff. Some of the other puppets I already have made. Uh, I've got some stick puppets I made. I've got a hamster and a rabbit that I made. I've got a foam puppet that's like articulated that you open, that's like halfway finished, that I need to finish up. That's what this that's what this pattern is. This is the head pattern for making that foam rabbit puppet. I got like halfway through making that, and then I broke my finger. But that's healed up enough. It's not great. I still can't like close it all the way, but it doesn't hurt like hell all the time now, and I don't think it's ever gonna bend again properly. I'm having to relearn how to play the guitar, but it's at least healed up enough to the point that I can craft again. For a while there, it was so tender and sore all the time that I couldn't even, do stuff like this. Well, thanks. I'm recovering slowly but surely. Uh, I don't know if this finger is ever gonna be right again. I don't think it will. It seems like it's just kind of fused into a straight, solid mass. Uh, but it's at least good enough that I can make puppets and starting to gain some traction here on the YouTubes. Um, I don't know if there's any particular story that, like, put me onto this. Like, I mean, I was definitely really big into, like, the Muppets when I was a kid. Like, the Muppet Show was my jam, you know? Uh, so that's probably a big influence on why I decided to start doing the puppet thing. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I watched some documentaries and stuff about Jim Henson recently. Oh, the other thing, what's really good, what I'll recommend, Adam Savage's channel on YouTube, Tested. He does a lot of like maker stuff, like crafting and whatnot. Um, and he's also been going to the Jim Henson workshops a lot lately and talking to them about puppet stuff. That's really good. His channel is excellent. He's one of those people that was like, you know, legit famous on like old media doing Mythbusters, and now you go watch him on YouTube and you're like, oh, he's actually a really cool dude. Like, he gives like good life advice and like good shop advice, and yeah, I really like his channel. It's called Tested. I'm constantly showing his videos to like my teenagers, being like, hey, check out this cool tool, or hey, this is some really good advice. Oh, I gotta stretch my spine out some. Check my. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's time to take my medicine. Hold on, guys. Let's Man, I'm gonna have to go buy another bag of this. Running out. That one's empty. There's a little bit left in this one. Yeah, one's 14 and one's 18. The 14-year-old is mine biologically. The 18-year-old is my brother's. That I've effectively adopted. I've been homeschooling them for a while, and they want to live with me. That's what their, you know, choices. My parents have been raising them for years, like, not my parents, well, my mom and my stepdad, but the last year or so, I've effectively adopted them. But they just turned 18 the other day, so they're officially their own person and can do whatever they want. But the 14-year-old is mine, blood-wise. And yeah, they're not particularly into the puppet thing. I mean, they think it's cool. They think they're cute. They like looking at them when I make them, and sometimes I can get them involved in my creative projects, but they're not particularly into it, you know, but that's fine. They're allowed to be into their own thing. It is kind of frustrating though, because they'll start like, you know, info dumping on me on their special interests, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, and then this game, and then the thing, and I was this trait, and then I had to go do this thing and this other thing, and then this thing, and then that other thing, and it's like, whoa, 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 man, I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'm like not able to process it. But, you know, that's just kids. But yeah, I try not to be one of those people who's like, the things the kids like are bad because they're different from the things I like. Nah, man, they're just different. Times change. Alrighty. I should perk back up here in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and do one of these while we're yeah, man. And like, and in some ways, I think the people that raised me, the old people that was around when I was coming up, sucked so much that I might have like overcorrected. I'm a little bit too much of the cool dad, you know, a little too laid back about stuff, but you know, at least there, the only problems I come into is my kids aren't very, you know, like proactive about taking care of stuff, but at least they're not assholes. I've never had any issues with them fighting me over dumb shit or just like getting mad over nonsense. Like, I've never had any of that fuck you dad shit, like, because I never asked anything unreasonable of them, you know? Like, if I felt like something didn't actually matter, I wouldn't try to control them on it, you know? Like I never tried to keep them from saying bad words. I never made it a big deal. You know, the way I see it, there are no bad words, there are only bad intentions. And as long as you're not saying fuck you, I don't care if you stub your toe and go, oh fuck. Oh, you're fine. I don't judge anybody for text errors these days, considering the way autocorrect works. Man, I fight so much with damn autocorrect and speech to text, and drives me up the wall. Speaking of the kids, that was them messaging me. Excuse me. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah. Did you want to come over here? It would help if you could bring some of my stuff, like my green screen. And we can try to get your prescription toothpaste. Do 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 do. I'm not a robot. What? Oh, goodness. I hate these damn captchas where the images slowly disappear and are replaced by another image. It's like, come on, yo. What the hell is this? Why is it doing this? Are you serious, man? Okay, let me know before it gets too late. I want to try to get to bed earlier tonight than I did last night. Alright. Whew. Oh, my neck. My back. Yeah. Sticking out a little funny. Carver. Now, what do we alliterate with that? Oops. Screen. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Well, I like to try to do alliteration with it, so it starts with the same sound. So, you know, with Carver, it's got that hard k sound. So, but I like it to be a sort of a reference to the sort of animal they are. Like with Stewart, I went with stew meat because they're a pig. So, you know, you use pork in stews sometimes. It's not really the top stew meat. Normally use beef more for stews, but that's beside the point. I'm just trying to think of what relates to a wolf that has a hard K sound to it. Or we could have it relate to their character somehow, maybe, instead of their animal type. Oh, duh. Carver canis. Canis lupus is the scientific name for wolves. So we could just do Carner canis. That would work. That was obvious. That should have came to me a lot faster. I can't remember if it with a U or an I. Hold on. It's an I. Okay. Yeah. So it would be like this. Carver canis. Yeah. Awesome. There we go. My furry followers are gonna think it's a bit obvious and on the nose, but for other people, it's very clever. I'm gonna have to rope some other people into doing some voices and stuff for this, whatever this turns out to be. I'm not really good at working multiple puppets with different voices, like at the same time. Otherwise, I'd try to do some little like improv with the puppets, switching back and forth, but like it's difficult for me to swap voices on the fly really quick. It's better if I can do improv with the puppet, but I need to stick in with one character, you know? Like but I can do it with multiple ones. I can just record if I'm doing scripted stuff, I can uh record all the stuff for each character in a row and chop it up. I hate video editing. I'm not a video editor. It's not my forte. I would love to pay somebody to edit video for me. My my channel would do a lot better if I did a lot more clipping and all that sort of crap, but I am so not built for it. Like going back and watching my entire streams over again and like figuring out the parts where we should clip out and all that is just, I'm not really built for it. And it's the sort of thing where if you can build up enough community, you'll start having people like just do that stuff by themselves, People will just start taking clips out of your streams because they think it's they're funny moments that they like, and they want to share and all that. But like to get yourself started off, you're supposed to do it yourself. Yeah, I don't know, man. The AI tools like are kind of sketchy, and also just there are a lot of the circles I run in, people are very not happy with AI, like because all the companies are trying to just get rid of all the artists and replace them with AI. So you touch anything with AI and everybody will be mad at you, and then even if it doesn't really have anything to do with what they are legitimately mad at, just having the letters AI involved in what you're doing, like people will get pissed. And I just don't need the static. Like I was thinking about trying to do some sort of generative AI thing where I fed an image diffuser a bunch of pictures of cloth puppets and had it generate pictures of random puppets for people to do voices behind as like a call-in section for the show, where they wouldn't need to make a puppet, they could just have one sort of pop up as a picture and then representing them. But it got to the point where even if I managed to do the whole thing where the entire chain was clean and there wasn't anybody's stolen artwork or anything, just the fact that it was using image diffusion would make people's hackles go up, and they would just, and everybody would be like, you're stealing from artists and blah blah blah, and it's like legitimate criticism, yes, like I agree, with using people's art without their consent and trying to replace artists with AIs is a legitimate problem in our capitalist system. But yeah, so I just figure I'm not gonna mess with it, because I don't need to have to constantly explain to people, no, it's not the bad AI, because a lot of people don't want to hear that, even if it's true. Like, because once people start yelling at you about something, it's really hard for them to admit that they were wrong. So I'm just gonna try to keep it so people don't need to yell at me about stuff. Man, I'm just getting tons of Google Drive spam today. I don't know why every spam bot on the world keeps sending me porn all of a sudden. Fucking incomprehensible ass sentence. I mean, it's structured like a sentence, but it's, I don't know. Google News, what the fuck? What is the world we're living in? Richard Linklater's Hitman looks like a goofy role-playing rom-com in the new trailer. What the fuck is a goofy role-playing rom-com? What the fuck does that mean? Why are you sending me notifications about it? And I'm definitely not watching that movie. I don't watch hardly any movies, new ones these days. I do want to see the new Dune. Still haven't seen that. But, anyways. Okay. Yeah, the problem is that nobody knows how to make AI be creative. What AI is a mediocrity engine. What it does is the way all of these diffusers and large language models and whatnot work is they produce like the most likely output, you know? So what you're gonna get out of them is by definition going to be bland and generic. Like it is like almost impossible for them to produce anything that's not bland and generic, because it's working from like a large data set and trying to predict what you want based on, you know, everything. So when you take in everything, you end up with nothing. It's just generic garbage. So none of it's interesting, none of it's artistic, you know, none of it's good. It's because it's literally producing the average. That's like mathematically what it is doing. It is producing the average text, the average picture. So you're not gonna get the outliers, which is what is interesting in human creativity, is things that you didn't expect to see. That's what draws us to artwork, is when we see something and say, oh, that's new. I didn't expect that. Like, nobody wants to go sit through an entire movie and at the end of it just be like, oh, well, that was exactly what I expected it was going to be. There was no surprises, there was no beauty, there was no ugliness. Like, that's a miserable experience. Nobody, like, you might sit through it and you might go, hey, it was all right, but like, you're not gonna buy a copy and keep it on your shelf and watch it over and over and over again because it's average. So anyways, that's my spiel on AI. Yeah, I mean, that's one way of putting it. It just, it doesn't, it's very difficult to get something that is mathematically designed to drive towards the averages to reach for the outliers. And that's where the interesting part of human creativity exists, is reaching for the outliers. And yeah, it's just gonna produce what you, yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna be repeating myself at this point. But yeah, and it sucks because like they are very rapidly trying to shove it into everything. All the corporations are like, quick, we got to replace every worker possible with an AI because the AI is the future and AI is going to do this and AI is going to do that. And it's like, well, you say it's going to do all these things, but you're trying to have it do the things now before it can. And it's not doing a good job. Like, it's just, God, man, all the AI chatbots and fucking content ID and all this mess, and man, they're just trying to have automated systems do everything and they're bad at it. Do. Let me do some reposting here and try to drive some more people back onto the stream. Oh yeah, I was just watching them talking about that on the internet today. The freaking weirdo automated sex toy. But yeah, dude, you don't have to worry about breaching inappropriate subjects with me. I'm a former sex worker. I'm not gonna be put off because you talk about a wee wee. But yeah, I was watching them talk about that thing. Oh, hey, kitty, welcome back. Yeah. You walked in at the right time for things to get hot and heavy. Yeah, I know I know I look like a stereotypical dude, but I'm what I refer to as long period gender fluid. I kind of swing around between masculine and feminine on a long orbit. And for a while there, well, actually, I was doing sex work before I came out as non-binary. I was doing sex work just as a dude doing uh, doing porn and stuff in like my early 20s. But then later on, after I came out as non-binary, I went through a period of time where I was living femme full time, and I was doing even in-person sex work during then. I was escorting, as well as working online and all that. But yep, I've done a lot of different stuff over my lifetime. It's been an experience. Yeah, sorry about that awkward subject coming up. Yeah, we can go back to talking about puppets now. We don't have to start pervy time. Delving into my dark and smoky past. Yeah, we ended up going with the name Carver Canis. Carver. It's Carver Canis. Arr. Arr. Itachi came up with Carver and I came up with Canis because Canis lupus is the scientific name for wolves. It's a bit on the nose. My furry friends, I'm sure, will say it's a bit obvious. Yeah, I've got the, like I was showing Itachi, I've got the, I took this picture to post on the Blue Sky about, of him at my old typewriter. So I was thinking he could be either like a writer maybe, or he could be like a detective that works with Stuart here. Okay. Hurry back now. Yeah, this is my vintage typewriter. I inherited it from my aunt. I'll pull it over here. We can play with it. Now let's see. Let's clear off some space over here. Move this stuff out of the way. Go. Yep, this is my here, I'll pull it up a little closer. My Royal Deluxe typewriter. Yep. Where is my, here, hold on. some paper. There we go. I don't know if that's, I can't really see if that's getting in focus or not, but yeah, I inherited this from my Aunt Keat. Along with these, this was the other cool thing I got from her. These are a pair of opera glasses. And just little, they pop open and you can look through them. And they've got this little wheel that you spin and the lenses adjust the focus by sliding in and out. Yeah. Yeah, these were made in Japan around the time of World War II. You want to see my other cool old stuff? I got some other cool old stuff. I like holding on to cool old stuff. It's a sort of thing I do. Here's my Panasonic VHS reporter camcorder that I use for doing my 4x3 live streams and music videos and stuff. This is a replacement of the one that I had. Actually, I still have it. It's over in my tote, but I have one that I had since high school. And when I was like recording the high school football games for the school, and that one broke. But since I've got the case and the charger and the light and all that sort of stuff, so I found this one on eBay. It was untested for $40 including shipping, and the entire thing works. Hell yeah. Yeah, if you go look at my lives recently, some of them have been using this camera. You can see all that nice fried old CCD static on there. It's love it. Let's see, what else do I got here with me? Ugh. I got the guitar. This is old. This is a 1963 Japanese fake Stratocaster. It's a knockoff Strat. I don't know what company produced it. The sticker's gone off the back of the neck. All it says is adjustable steel neck made in Japan, and it has a serial number, but the pots in it are shot. I need to replace the potentiometers, but the pickups in it sound great. Oop, my mouse is getting squished. Just writing stuff in the chat. I think that's most of the old stuff that I have with me that's easy to get to. I've got more old stuff, but I don't have it here at the moment. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Like, I'd like to visit Japan, maybe, but they've got like a 99.99999% conviction rate, which means they just decide to arrest people and then you go to prison. Like, it's not because they're like super careful about only charging people who actually did really bad things. It's like they just refuse to admit that they incorrectly charged anybody. It's kind of scary. I mean, not that we don't have the same thing in America, but we actually get out of our criminal charges a bit more successfully in America than in Japan, which is wild. You're less likely to get charged with bullshit criminal charges in Japan, but if you do, man, you are fucked. I mean, I do want to get out of America, though. My kid wants to go to Sweden. That's where their eyes are set. The only place I've kind of thought about going to is maybe Bolivia. They seem to have a strong leftist movement there. They shrugged off a right-wing coup recently, so you know, I'm of an age where I'm thinking political stability more than you know, how neato it would be to be somewhere. Yeah, I'm into politics by necessity. It has severely impacted my life over the years, so I don't have the option of ignoring it. And really, I mean, I'm of the mind where I will die on the hill that everything is politics. I mean, politics is simply humans collectively making decisions together. If you've got two people trying to decide something, you have politics. you know, and trying to draw the boundary anywhere else is entirely arbitrary, you know. Uh, to say that this is politics and this is not politics, like when you try to figure out, well, why is this politics and this is not politics, and you can't really come up with any definition, because politics is just people making decisions together. Really, the sad thing about American politics is that it's all illusory for the most part. Like, you're given the false choice between two options that don't really deviate that much, because they're both wholly owned by the corporate, kleptocracy is the word a lot of people like to use, but just which is pretty accurate. It means they've stolen all the wealth, stolen all the power, and both the Republicans and the Democrats are, entirely beholden to the wealthy. Like, they differ in some ways, yeah, but most of the ways they differ are performative. Like, the Democrats will smile to your face while voting for you to not have any services or retirement or anything, and the Republicans will just call you mean, racist names while they do that. But either way, I'm still here, without any social services. It doesn't matter who's in the White House, who's in the governor's office, who's in the state house, even for a lot of the places. They are ideologically committed to not doing the things that would actually help people systemically. Because if you help people systemically, it hurts the rich systemically. Because for them to continue accruing more wealth, they have to keep extracting more wealth from the lower classes. You can't help the lower classes without hurting the rich. Of course, for values of hurting where they would be fine, they just don't want the big numbers in their accounts to be smaller. But yeah, I will shoot off like a rocket on politics, capitalism, American systemic deficiencies. I can talk about that stuff all day long. I keep grabbing this to drink and there's nothing in it. Ugh. I will be right back. I'm gonna mute this for a second. And we have returned again. Dun, dun. We're here to play, my friends. Dun, dun. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of reached the point where somebody openly identifying as a Republican would have to be okay with pretty horrific stuff that's just like kind of going on in the open. Like they are all like openly affiliating with white supremacists and whatnot. And like the whole party has slid off a cliff. Just like, and they've just sort of like embraced the we're just gonna be the bad guys sort of thing. Like, you try to talk to any of them online, and they've all just turned into shit posters, you know? Everyone's just trying to own the libs or whatever. Like, the problem is that the Republican Party in the modern era doesn't have an ideology. Like, there is no. They're not like working on a basis of trying to do small government for small government's sake. Like, if you look at the actual action they're taking, it's completely incoherent. They're just like reactionaries flying off of grievances because all of the actual policies that they, supposedly stood for in the past, are objectively bad. They objectively cause bad outcomes for people. So they have to keep like backing off of them because they hurt their constituents, but they also want to hurt people. Like their entire political like the entire like ideology of the Republican Party at this point basically revolves around making people pay for being bad. It's a psychology of punishment. We need to hurt those people because they're doing bad things, and we need to make them pay. Which doesn't build a healthy society, And the liberals aren't exactly much better because they are, like, most of them refuse to acknowledge the reality of the situation as it stands, and they also don't want to pay any price whatsoever to change things for the better. Like, they don't want to have any personal costs. Like, I don't know. I'm mad at everybody. There's just so many people who just are like blindly cheering for one team or the other when neither of the parties are actually trying to do anything to help anybody, Yeah. I'll be a bit more lenient with people identifying as a Democrat just because they aren't so openly hostile. But still, when people like vocally say, I am a liberal, I am a Democrat, at this point it makes me look at them like, so you don't have any idea what's going on, huh? Because if you're not, at this point, at least identifying as like a socialist, hopefully a communist, maybe even an anarchist, like, or a leftist of some variety, Trotskyist, Maoist, whatever. I don't care about the minutiae of, but like, if you haven't like woke up to actively being opposed to capitalism and fighting for the workers to own the means of production, to get, everybody's labor power out of the hands of a small number of individuals, then you're not actually like seeing what the actual problems are. Yeah, I know. I understand the sentiment. Uh, but, I had to go and reproduce, so now I got kids and I've got to keep fighting to make the world better. I can't give up yet. Unfortunately. Gotta keep putting one foot before the other. Yes, it is. Uh, I'm glad I made it this far. I've tried to check out a couple of times. Had my stays in the Grippy Sock Saloon, but I have motivation, and I'm not trying to give up yet. All right. Well, that got heavy. Yeah, I keep doing stuff like that. I'll accidentally like drop something on the keyboard, or the mouse will slide into something and things will start going crazy and I'll get confused. Let's do a dab. I feel like it's dab time. I'm a little ahead of schedule, but that's okay. It's my schedule. Oh man, I hate when I lose my state. Like, I keep so many tabs open. I've got workspaces and tab groups, and it's just like so much stuff. If I lose it all, I would weep. Yeah, my browser is an entire situation. Where's my mouse at? Speaking. Let me pull up my workspaces here. Main workspace, 3 tabs. Live, 12 tabs. Medical, 7 tabs. Music, playing, 41 tabs. Music, tech, 11 tabs. Tech, 6 tabs. Piracy, 4 tabs. Meta, 17 tabs. Social, 13 tabs. Crafting, 3 tabs. Art, 7 tabs. Gaming, 5 tabs. Yeah. And that's after I went through and closed a bunch of stuff recently. Ooh-wee, sweating. I didn't do it. All right, you got it. Well, what was that? Oh, that sucks, man. I know the feeling. I was hitting that a lot lately, especially when I was in the tent. I was just, I'd be sitting there like, I need to create something. I need to make. I must bring something into existence, but I don't know what. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I would just like kind of sit there frozen and yeah. I'm not suffering from that so bad now. Now that I'm inside of walls, I'm a bit more functional, but I'm still trying to let uh, chat like sort of direct the creative process here, just because I'm trying to build a community. You know, I like to let everybody be involved. Yeah, that's one of the things I really try to look for in like streamers and whatnot, is somebody who is like actually like involved in their community. I hate when I'll start watching a streamer or something and then I'll join their Discord and they're like not in there, you know? Like it's like just this is the place where their fans hang out and they post links whenever they go live. But I much prefer people who are like actually like involved in what's going on, you know? Talking to their community and like getting people involved in stuff and whatnot. That's why I called the channel Veronia Studios. Is, you know, I didn't want this to just be me, you know? I'm trying to, you know, have this be a collective effort. Like the idea was to start a co-op. Well, if you ever have ideas and no motivation and you want them to exist anyway, you can bring them to me and I might have motivation to spare. Uh, I'm always looking for people to collaborate with, and I'm not an expert at anything, but I'm kind of good enough at just about everything. I'm the proverbial jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, my Discord has the opposite problem where I'm the only person in there running my mouth constantly. Oh yeah, that is another thing that drives me up the wall is when moderators like, yeah, people get their little fiefdoms, and if the YouTuber, streamer, whatever isn't in there themselves, then whoever they've appointed moderators just end up tending to get a little wild with it, you know. Uh, mm, blah 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 blah. Space cadet, Earth to Willow, beep bop boop. What are we gonna do? Yeah, and like, I kind of get it. Like, if you are like making content all the time, running a Discord server, especially one that's super active, becomes like its own job, you know, almost. So you need to offload it to some other people, but you should at least like still talk to people, you know, like occasionally have conversations with folks, respond to stuff that people are talking about that you didn't initiate the conversation in your, you know, in your server. Like, I try to respond whenever anybody starts bringing something up in my server. I try to like get involved in whatever it is they're trying to do, you know. Like, the server's not just for me, it's for everyone. But so many people will just like, the creator will only talk in there when they're like promoting something or whatever, you know. Yeah, yeah, I can't stand those. I tend to leave servers like that. If the creator themselves is never in there, eventually I just give up and leave, you know, unless I make some good friends real quick. Like, I used to be on like the Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur server, and he doesn't really talk in there. And there were a lot of like libertarian debate bro type folks and stuff, and it just got too annoying. I gave up. You're good. I'm kind of having a bit of a space cadet moment with my brain, so as long as you're enjoying yourself, I don't mind you ranting. You're doing fine. I'm kind of spacing out a little bit. Uh, Trying to figure out what the next move is. A spyglass? Do you mean like a spyglass or a monocle? A spyglass is like a telescope, like a little telescope. A monocle is the thing on the emoji you posted. Are you talking about like binoculars? Ones with 2 tubes? Oh, a magnifying glass. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. Trying to think if I have anything that would make a good lens at that scale. I have a magnifying lens, but it's not in, like, it's on this thing. Like that. Except not on this weird reticulating helping hands thing. But yeah, that's what we were thinking of. Ooh. Man, I had a tiny plastic magnifying glass that's almost the perfect scale, and I can't remember where it is. It's gotta be in a box somewhere. But is it at the tent? Is it in the storage bin? I don't know. That would be perfect. I mean, but I'm sure I could just find a piece of plastic or something to make a little magnifying glass out of. Let me see what else I got. Let me dig through my mess. Okay, here we go. Okay. Here's what we're gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to cut a circle out of the lid of this box, and we can make a magnifying glass out of that. It won't be an actual good magnifying glass, but it'll work fine for a prop, for a puppet. Assuming I can cut this using the technique I'm going to attempt to. Huh. This is the wrong book. Not what I was looking for. Hold on. I've got to, I'm gonna move some of all of this, my old stuff off of the bed because it's all in the way and it's all old and difficult to replace. So let's, yeah. Keep this stuff. This is what I was looking for. All right. Whoop, whoop. All right, thanks. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Hat off. Let me get warm. Get it? No, that didn't even come close. Damn it. That didn't work. I'm gonna step outside and hit the pipe. I'll be right back. Oops, accidental typing. Where is the oh, this one. Dang it. It's not good. And we have returned from the pipe time. It's the right time for a pipe time. Alright. The nicotine levels were getting low because I ended up yanking off that nicotine patch. It was making me sweat. They're not very comfortable. Now, the proper way to use this thing is to strike it with the hammer. And I do have the hammer, but I don't really want to be striking things in my hotel room, you know? I could just cut it out with scissors, but I kind of didn't want to destroy the box. I was trying to do this in a way that left the box still usable as a box, you know. Oh. Let's try, I've got some plastic I can use. Damn soda I couldn't drink. Well, I thought I could use that. That's not clear at all. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I have that I could use as a lens, but oh well. We can worry about that later. I don't know. I think I'm kind of hitting the wall here. So we're going to call it. But anyways, thank you everybody for helping to bring Carver Canis into the world to join Stuart Stew Meat on their intrepid adventures, I guess. Whatever they're going to be doing. Probably bad things. I think they're the bad guys. But yeah. Alright. Thank you. Mwah. Bye, everybody.